Folks,
You're in trouble now, baby.
I tell you what.
That's what you get for shinging.
All right. I don't know how to tell you barbecuers, you know, how close of a knit family barbecuers are. I mean, this is really, y'all are a really unique group. And over the last couple of weeks, this gentleman right here, your son, if you've seen Facebook or heard, he had some, what? I'm serious, this is no joke. If you read, this man's gone through a heck of a lot. He had to drive all the way back and forth to Hammond to try to compete in these contests, Hammond, Louisiana. And in one of the trips, his AC went bad on his truck. And if you read, poor guy was having to drive down the road with the window down. He'd scoop out some ice and he would rub it all over his body and let the wind hit to try to cool him off.
That's why you don't tell nobody nothing you do right
now, this is where you barbecuers come in handy. I mean, this is where y'all are unbelievable. Because some of his barbecue friends got together and said, look, how can we help David out? The first thought was we could fix his AC. And everybody said, nah, that's a little too much money. We can't do that. But we got to come up with something. Folks, barbecuers have not let us down again. So, what they have done is come up with a broth that's got freezer packs in it. So you can freeze that. I'm not ready for it. Switch your eyes. I'm not cooking.
Let's get a kiss. Let's get a kiss.
He forgets to tell you love Hammond, Louisiana, and I'm starting to control this. You won't be at any more contests in the morning.
I've already ahead of you. I've already thought of that. I'm going to rental car. But now, from what I've heard from certain teams, that if you freeze these, they are good for at least 200 miles. So to get another set, all you gotta do is just interchange, okay?
I gotta bring him home? Somebody better post a picture before I get home.
Celeste is going to wonder what you been up to. Come here, we'll take them back.
We have just tasted and judged sauces here at the Barbecue Festival of Franklin, North Carolina. There is probably 3 that I really liked and a couple that I didn't, but they was all overall very good. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks.
Too many cowards in this. Yeah.
Just talk to the girl. She likes it hot.
I like the hotter sauces, but I did find a couple that I really liked in this group.
Okay. And everybody else is done?
Well, this is anything but, and we had 4 delicious items. We had some pizza, some short ribs, smoked turkey, some shrimp wrapped in, I believe, some kind of ham. I'm not for sure, but everything was delicious. The portions was a little large for me, but I think some at this table will eat a lot more. But everything was very good, and we appreciate all the good cooks who've come to Macon County to make this a success as the food was. Thank you so much.
Mine was wonderful, and he said enough for all of us. It was great.
The pizza was awesome. It was really good. We had to leave enough on the plate so you could at least film it. And the smoked turkey was excellent, the shrimp as well. And those short ribs are very different. Had blackberries in it, something I've never had before.
My favorite was the pizza. It was very good. The turkey was good. I guess my least favorite was the ribs. But I liked it all. My personal favorite was the shrimp. The beef short ribs was just different, but it was still good. It's just different. I didn't know I was supposed to save some pizza, but it was very good.
Well, heard nothing but good comments, and I'll just back all 4 of them up, 5 of them up. Some great food there. A lot of time, a lot of preparation going into and I think these cooks, I'm a cook myself, and I know what it is to try to prep for one of these. But overall, I'm kind of a shrimp guy. Thank you.
All right, I'm Lisa Marling. I'm doing desserts tonight. I believe my favorite is the cheesecake. They all were good, but I think that one wins the prize for me.
Okay.
My name is Marvin Ramsey. I'm doing desserts today. And I think my favorite is, which one is this one? Peanut butter. Peanut butter is the one is my favorite.
Okay.
Hey, my name's Debbie Wallace, and I'm doing desserts today. And it's between the banana pudding and the cheesecake, but I think the cheesecake is the winner.
Okay.
Dave Snyder. I guess the favorite of mine is the peanut butter. Of course, the weather has something to do. The heat kind of takes away the appearance of some of it, but overall, the taste is peanut butter.
My name is Warren Cabe, and I'm doing desserts today as well. And I guess it's a toss-up between the banana pudding and a blueberry tart. That's very good. And I'd probably have to give the edge to the blueberry.
Jimmy Team, and my favorite was the raspberry cheesecake. There's none left of that, and then the blueberry tart.
Objectively and subjectively evaluate. Barbecue meat. That is presented to my eyes. My nose. My hands. My palate. I accept my duty. To be a 5th annual Franklin, North Carolina Mountain High Barbecue and Car Show judge. For the truth. Justice. Excellence in barbecue. In the American way of life. May be strengthened and preserved forever.
I think number 1 was my favorite. It was moist, tender, and the barbecue sauce complemented the meat. It didn't overpower it. Number 3, the skin was so tough I couldn't bite through it.
In my opinion on the judging, it was a very close between number 2 and number 5, but for different reasons. Number 2 it was very well cooked, very tender, had a little bit of a sweet taste to it. Whereas number 5, a different type of meat, but again, it had a good tenderness and taste to it, but it was a little spicy taste, and it was hard to differentiate which one I would call the best. To me, number 3 was my least favorite. It was tough. It really didn't have a good taste to it at all. It was very bland on the taste.
My favorite was number 3. It was very tasty, the color was good, and it came off the bone the way it was supposed to. My least favorite was probably number 6. It was pretty dry to me, and I didn't see where there was a whole lot of taste in the meat.
Okay, my favorite was number 5, the drumstick. It was very moist. The skin was real nice and tender also, and it had just a little bit of kick to it, so that was my number 1 choice. And number 1 I thought was very good also. The sauce was sweet. It was very moist, so my least favorite was number 3. Thought it was a little tough and not enough spice in the meat.
My favorite was a tie basically between number 1 and number 4. Both cooked similarly with slightly sweet taste with a little kick to it.
probably the least favorite for me, not because it was the leg, it was just, it seemed a little bland.
I was pleased with all the meat. I think the chicken was just wonderful today. My favorite was number 2. It was quite moist and flavorful, and it had a mild sauce, and I could really taste the flavor of the chicken. My least favorite, if I had to choose one, would be number 1. It was a little bit, the sauce was good, but it was a little bit on the chewy side.
Okay, overall, the taste was pretty good. I had a couple that were tough. Number 5 and number 6 were tough, and number 3 was the one that I really liked. Number 3 and number 1.
Overall, they were good samples. Most of them were a little overdone, though. Number 1 was overdone. A couple of them, let's see, number 5 had a little sweet and a little bit of tug and a little bit of heat after. Number 4 also had a little bit of heat in the back, a little tougher. And then the 6th sample was also tough, a little dry.
The number 1, number 3, they were the best ones. Some of the other ones just okay, but they no good, no real taste to them.
Number 1 was good. Number 3 was good. But if you'll notice, when you bite, it didn't come clean from the bone, so this is really tough. This one is a little overdone. Again here, it didn't bite clean from the bone. Again, 3 was good.
Overall, I thought all of them were pretty good. 1 and 3 had a little bit of heat. 3 being mostly, I think, tasted to me like maybe too much black pepper. Number 4 was an excellent rib. It was tender, moist. I mean, it was perfect to me. Number 6 was tough, but it had a pretty good taste, but it was just tough. And number 5 had a little too much heat.
Number 3 is my favorite of all of the 6. I like that flavor the best, and the meat was just about perfectly cooked, it seemed like. Number 6 was the least favorite. It had a very bad chemical taste, and it was tough.
I will also agree number 3 was the best. Probably number 4 had a very different marinade on it, and it was my least favorite.
I thought number 3 also was the best one, although number 2 had a very nice tenderness and very nice oaky taste to it. Number 5 was probably my least favorite, as it had more of a vinegar taste to it that really just kind of did not set off the meat very well. But the tenderness was good, but just not very well as far as taste goes.
Okay, to me, all of the pork was very well. All of it was very tender. It looked good. I had a problem with number 1, 3, and 5 as being too salty. I had to score down on those. 6 was a good one. This is my favorite.
I thought that number 1 was actually the most tender and flavorful. I thought that the sauce didn't overpower the flavor of the pork, and the money muscle on that was just right on in terms of tenderness. To me, number 3 had a different taste to it. I got a lot of pepper that just overpowered the taste of the pork. Number 4 for me was very dry, not flavorful at all. And then number 6 for me was actually too mushy. It was overcooked, and the pieces that I had were very mushy in my mouth.
I'll have to agree. Number 1 was my favorite. The money mussel on that was very tender and really good, flavorful. The one I did not like was number 4. It was just overcooked and overspiced.
Okay. Least favorite was this one. It was too done and fell apart. My favorite, I think, was number 3. I liked the flavor of it. It had good texture. And probably my next one would have been this one. Same reason. The texture was good. The flavor was excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
My least favorite was number 1. It was overcooked, it was mushy, and didn't have a real good flavor at all. My best one I think was probably number 3, which is this one right here. It was close between 3, 4, or 5, and 6. The difference in there that I noticed, this was cut a little bit thicker. It had nicer texture than number 5, but number 5 was good, but was cut thinner, which was kind of an interesting combination. And I would say that number 6 was probably somewhere in between there.
My least favorite was number 1. It was way too done. Just pulled apart, fell apart even as I was trying to get it out of the box. Probably my favorite was number 5. Between 3 and 5 were very good. Very good. I had number 4 was pretty tough. Could hardly chew that piece. So.
My least favorite was number 1. It was definitely overdone, and I also found number 4 to be overdone as well. The rest were pretty consistent. I would have given them all the same score, and I did give them all the same score.
Number 1 was overdone. I found that most of the other entries were about the same in consistency, but I didn't get a lot of flavor.
Well, it's unanimous. Number 1 was the least favorite of all. It was overcooked, very little taste. I thought number 5 was the best. It was nice and moist, good flavor. And number 6 was I got a tough piece. I had a tough bite on number 6. The others were, medium range.